In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what took me years to learn when running Google Ads to get motivated sellers for my own local wholesaling company. Now, throughout the video, if you want me to run your PPC campaign instead for you, feel free to click the link in the description. I'd be happy to chat with you, but let's get to the video. All right, everybody, I'm going to show you the two biggest mistakes that honestly, when I first started Google Ads journey of my running my own campaign, and really when I didn't really know what I was doing, which maybe some of you guys, I just want to save you guys a lot of money and time by showing you kind of what exactly this is. So I'm going to go in my campaign settings and show you exactly what I mean. And I'm going to scroll down to where I'm running my ad, which is where my local company is at in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, basically, the rule that I follow that you guys should always follow, because and I'll get to this, is because with this rule, you want to make sure that we're actually ranking at the top for all the motivated key terms as possible. Because if we're not ranking consistently as the number one result at least 50 or 60% of the time when you look at auction insights, this is a problem. This is where we need to be around that 50 to 60%, because this is what's going to cause very high quality lead flow rather than just where you're spending money on PPC and you're not getting great quality leads. It's because you're not ranking as good as you are as often, right? And that's fine, but we need to make sure that we follow this rule, which is every $1,500 to $2,000 you spend needs to hit around 500,000 people in reach. As you can see here, I have around 376,000 people in reach. Now, let me preface this. Reach is different than population. So if you have a certain population of a city, like for example, Sioux Falls is on paper is a population of I think 200 or 250,000, but reach is 376,000. So this is what I'm going off of is reach. So in this area, like I spend $1,500 a month roughly in my area. Now, maybe if you get closer to the 500,000, you're getting closer to the $2,000 a month. But the reason I say this has a formula is because at least the way I run my campaigns, which if you don't know how to set up your own campaign, or at least the way I do it, because what I like to do is only spend money on quality clicks. I don't like to run broad match. I don't like to run any other ad for key terms that aren't related to severe motivation. And so if you want to learn exactly how to set up a campaign the way I like it and the way I do it, feel free to click the video in the description that I will link below. But with that being said, this is the biggest rule we can follow, is spending this amount of money per $500,000 of reach. And what I'll say with this as well is, say you're in a bigger area like San Antonio or any of these bigger metro areas where there's obviously a lot more than $500,000 in reach in these places, you can still run Google ads in these certain sections of areas. It actually works very, very well. And this is what's great about Google ads is, yes, obviously, to run ads all throughout San Antonio and compete and ranking as the top result 50 to 60% of the time would be very difficult, but also very expensive. Like you're spending anywhere from 10, 15, 20 grand a month on PPC more than likely if you wanted to rank at the top all throughout this area. But you can start in certain areas. You don't have to target all of San Antonio. Target $500,000, a little drag and drop section, which is right here, advanced search. You can literally go radius, and I can go in here and I can just drag and drop exactly like a pin mode, and I can go in here and I can pin it, and it's going to go a radius of 20 miles around that pin. And you can do that, and it's actually going to work very, very well, because this place like San Antonio, there's a lot of different areas that a lot of your deals come from. But why are you spending money on all these other places if you're not comfortable with spending that much? So this is the biggest lesson that I wanted to show you, was no matter what you have a budget in mind, if you aren't ready to spend at least $1,500 to $2,000 a month for the next few months without any results, I would not start PPC yet. I would start getting some consistency. Once you are comfortable with that, then I would start PPC. But this is the biggest rule, because my most important factor with a PPC campaign is making sure we're ranking at the number one result for all of our motivated keywords in our campaign at least 50 to 60% of the time when you look at auction insights. So that's the first thing. Second thing I wanted to show you is when you go to our assets. So obviously you've completely set up your campaign and you go to the assets column. This is where I'm going to show you location. And if you don't have a Google Business Profile set up, I would highly recommend doing so, because that's very, very, very important. So with that being said, is with this location asset, what it's going to allow you to do is in your ad, it's going to be able to show your Google Business Profile traits, meaning your address, your phone number, your business hours, everything like this. So typically, if you only are starting out with the $1,500 to $2,000 a month in your local area, I would choose the radius, or as far as you can get with your radius, to hit $500,000 in reach as close as you can. And basically what I would do is go to that pin like I just showed you and pin exactly where your Google Business Profile is. Reason being is because your ad, first of all, is going to show up a lot higher when it's closer to your Google Business Profile when you have this location asset on, meaning it's going to be a lower cost per click for you to actually get to rank at the top more often, and which is going to save you a lot more money and get you more high quality motivated sellers by just changing one single thing. And so that is another thing that I would highly recommend doing. Make sure you choose your budget correctly for the location you're doing it in. Like I said, $1,500 to $2,000 a month per 500,000 people in reach, no matter how big or small the area is. Just make sure you pin the point where you're at, choose the radius, and it's going to show you on Google or the Google ads exactly how much in reach it is. But that's what I would use for a formula. Make sure that you have your location asset on as well, because this is going to also increase it. So that's honestly the biggest lesson that I learned with PPC, because you realize you're trying to play a guessing game with, okay, how much should I spend? Where should I put my ads at? Do I need to target an entire area right away, which I made that mistake and I was spending way more money than I could actually handle in the beginning. But you don't. You can choose exactly where you want to run ads, but I'd recommend make sure you have your profile set up. When you set up your campaign, make sure you have the budget for the amount of people you're going to target. And typically, if you're starting out and you're starting at the minimum budget, target the place that is closest to your Google Business Profile location, because this will significantly decrease your cost per lead and increase the amount of conversions you will get for the cost of money you're actually spending. So the last thing I'll tell you is pretty much and also the other rule is every $1,500 to $2,000 you spend for the $500,000 in reach, we predict around 5 leads every single month from this per $500,000 in reach. Now, obviously, this is average. It could vary. It could be 10, it could be 2, right? But with that being said, we average around 5 leads per the amount of reach that shows. So with that being said, I hope this video helped you out a lot. If you're not really in the know of, okay, how much should I spend? Where should I start my ads? How should I do it? Once you get your ad set up, make sure you have your Google Business Profile set up, and watch this video. Do exactly what I show you with budget, location, and making sure you have that location asset on. And also make sure you have all this other stuff in here. Image, business name, right? Make sure you have the business name, business logo, because I promise you, when your campaign actually looks really, really good, it has a logo, business name, and it actually shows up on the ad, it's going to look very, very good, and you're also going to lower your cost per lead because people are going to want to click on that ad more, because you'd be surprised at how many people actually get so lazy with their PPC campaigns. So I hope this video helped you guys out a lot. This is just, it took me, believe it or not, many years to learn exactly what this formula and learn exactly what to do when it came to real estate wholesaling and running PPC to get the highest quality motivated sellers for the cheapest cost. Like I said, if you want me to run your PPC for you, I'd be happy to do so. Click the link in the description. I'd be happy to hop on a call with you and see what we can do together and make each other a lot of money. But with that being said, I appreciate you watching the video.